I recently did a video on Social Security being the next target of President Trump and Doge and Elon Musk and all the rest of it. And I got a bunch of questions and comments and complaints and all the rest of it. So I wanted to go through some of those today and answer those here on my channel. So my name is Ed Weir. I help people with all things Social Security. I usually do a live several times a week. So if you have any questions about all things Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, make sure you join my live Q&A. Subscribe. Um, now is not alive, but I do it several times a week, 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time. Okay, let me go through some of the questions here. And why doesn't Social Security Department just go after the missing death certificates? Obviously, they have the Social Security numbers of the deceased. Yeah, so this is based on a internet myth thing that's been out there since 2015 about did people being paid, which is 100% incorrect. There are Social Security numbers that haven't been closed out yet because Social Security can't close them out because they don't have a corresponding death certificate. Why don't they go after the death certificate? Well, it costs money, and Congress has to do it. If they want to shut it down, they can say, "Here's the resources to go ahead and find those death certificates." People pass away overseas, so I guess people have to go overseas and get the death certificates. It's going to cost a lot of money, but people aren't being paid. It's just that the Social Security number hasn't been closed down yet, but people are not being paid on that record. If you live overseas and you're collecting benefits overseas, a lot of U.S. citizens or expats and they live overseas, they know that they have to send in a letter or they have to contact Social Security. They recently changed it to a kind of they can do it over the phone. It's called "I'm still alive" call or a letter, and it's basically said, "Hey, yeah, I'm overseas, I'm still alive, continue my benefits." Because if you live in the United States, the states, the coroners and the funeral homes, when they do the death certificate, that's why they put your Social Security number on there, is they tell Social Security that you have, departed. And then the Department of Treasury goes in there and grabs that. The problem is there's millions of records that just haven't been closed out yet. They're not being paid. People are not getting, 112-year-old people not getting paid, or unless there are 112-year-old people, but they're not getting paid. It's just the Social Security hasn't closed it out. Congress can fix this by passing a law that gives Social Security authorization to delete those records. But until Social Security gets the death certificate or authorization by politicians to do that, then they're just going to sit there, but it doesn't really cost money. It's not fraud or anything like that. Why don't politicians do that? Because they like to drum up this story every now and then and try to attack Social Security so they can give it to their buddies on Wall Street. So it's all, and we fall for it every few years. So if I retire now, would new changes be retroactive? Usually when Social Security, anything like that, they make changes, they usually grandfather it in, or like the changes they made in the 1980s, they made it for the future. They raised the retirement age and stuff like that, but we are in uncharted territory. This is the first time it's been like this since 1935 that the trust fund is running out, and that in a few years, 2033, 2034, or sooner, then the trust fund is going to run out and Social Security only has about 75% money coming in to pay out. So at that time, according to the law, everybody's check is going to be cut unless something is done. And we just need to do something quickly. We've been kicking the can down the road since the 1980s. And I blame Trump and Biden and Obama. It's all their fault. We should blame all of them, all the politicians for the last 30 or 40 years that haven't solved the problems. And now they are just kicking the can down the road. And now it's crunch time and we need to do something quicker, if not sooner. Okay. Let's see. Thank you, Ed, for sharing facts. I don't see you trying to scare people because knowledge is power, gaining the power to understand, especially in these times of disinformation and misinformation. I appreciate it. Yeah, all of the references I put about the Social Security Trust Fund being run out and all that, it's in my YouTube description. So just go into my YouTube description. You'll see the actuarial report. You'll see the reports from the Social Security Trust Fund. You'll see reports of Congressional Budget Office. So I am just the messenger. Why don't Trump fund Social Security? Okay, probably fund Social Security. He went on TV yesterday and said the reason is immigrants. It's always DEI or immigrants, but we need to be serious. I wish he would come up with a plan. I wish President Biden had a plan to raise the FICA tax on people that made over $176,100. A lot of people don't realize it that you and I pay FICA Social Security on every dollar we make, but for 2025, if you make over $176,100, then you no longer pay Social Security tax anymore, and that's the issue. That's why Social Security is essentially bleeding. The last President Biden tried to pass that, but didn't put that much effort into it. So I blame him for not doing it. And so I think, one team, one side of the political spectrum is beholden to the billionaires, and they're right out there and they say we're beholden to the billionaires. And the other part of the political spectrum says, no, we're not beholden to the billionaires, but they can get things done. Don't be so incompetent. So I blame both sides. After the Medicare Fairness Act passed, you would have thought more people would have said something to say about the current budget proposal. Yeah, the Social Security Fairness Act that was passed by President Biden, and everybody on my channel knows that's BS. It's not fair. President Biden said he expanded Social Security. No, he did not expand Social Security. The only reason he did it is because President Trump said he would do it, and there was bipartisan support. So he wanted to look like he was supporting Social Security, but it only affects 3% of the population, and it basically increases the percent they receive higher than anybody else. So, yeah. So anyway. He's a liar. Raise the cap. I do not want my Social Security turned over to Wall Street. Okay, yeah, that seems to be the general feeling of my viewers here. No president will do anything with Social Security, past or present, because it would mean raising payroll taxes or some other tax. They have to deal with many angry Americans. Trump is no exception. No president wants to be blamed for trying to fix Social Security, and if it doesn't work, that is a trick that politicians use. They say the only two ways to solve Social Security is cut your benefits or raise your FICA tax. No, when they say raising taxes, when I say yes, taxes should be raised for Social Security, I'm not talking about you and I. I'm talking about those that make over $176,100. President Biden, he tried to kind of do a donut hole there, where he said, okay, over 176,100, you're good up until 400,000. You don't have to pay the extra. You don't have to pay like everybody else does. But starting 400,000, then you have to pay FICA tax on every dollar like everybody else. So when politicians says that's the only solution, cut benefits or raise taxes. No, raise taxes on, not necessarily raise taxing, make the Social Security fair, the Social Security FICA fair for everybody. If we have to pay it on 100% of our income, everybody should pay it on 100% of their income. I know someone who was collecting Social Security when she turned full retirement age on her own earnings, but when her ex-husband died, she got his Social Security amount because she was married to him for 10 years. Her Social Security went from 1,200 to 2,500. Something like this, I think, is also draining the fund. Plus, his current wife can collect that amount also. I think when you divorce, the tie should be broken. What say you? I disagree. If you tolerated someone for 10 years, that's the way the law is written. We can change it if we want, but there's a lot of people that, married to someone for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then they get divorced. The person remarries someone, and they're married to for 10 years. And what Social Security does is they go to the higher earnings record. So if you're entitled to two people that you were married to for at least 10 years, Social Security always looks for the higher benefit. So if the first X was higher, you get benefits off that. The second X is higher, then you get benefits off that. And multiple people can get benefits, the current spouse or the previous spouse. So I've had cases, I've taken hundreds of thousands of spouse claims or retirement claims, and I've had, several where there was three ex-wives collecting benefits on the same record. Is it a drain on the trust fund? Yeah, but that's the way the law is written. And I think that one is, in my humble opinion, I think that one is not necessarily too bad. What about all the government workers that have not paid their taxes or Social Security? There are thousands. Do more research, please. You're talking about CSRS, the old civil service retirement system for federal employees before the 1980s. Since that time, all federal employees have paid Social Security. It's part of the new system, FERS, Federal Employment Retirement System. You also might be talking about the 3% that are state, local, or county workers that have opted out of the Social Security system, and that's the one, the Social Security Fairness Act. So that is the research, and if you don't pay into it, you don't get it, except for, unfortunately, those 3% get extra percentage that the rest of us don't get. I agree that that's not fair, but before that, they didn't get it. If you didn't pay in it, you didn't get it. So there's the research. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me see. Have you considered the growing population of children who are disabled getting SSI benefits? Have you looked at the percentage of the population impact on SSI? SSI benefits to deceased military benefits to families. SSI, no, I think SSI is a welfare-based program. People confuse that with SSA, Social Security Administration. SSI is supplemental security income. It's a welfare-based program. You can't get it from your parents or anything like that. You can get auxiliary child benefits, surviving child benefits from a parent who deceased or is receiving retirement benefits or disability benefits. But yeah, no, I think you've kind of confused there. The U.S. government has borrowed 1.7 trillion from the Social Security Trust Fund. Well, they're paying it back. And how do I know? You just look at the numbers. In 2023, they took $70 billion out of the Social Security Trust Fund and put it in your check. In 2024, it's probably going to, the numbers aren't out yet, but it's probably about 100. Hey, if you need help with Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, Part D plans, make sure you reach out to my partners at Chapter Medicare. I looked for a place that would help you all out, and Chapter Medicare knocked it out of the park. They've got excellent customer service. They look at every single plan in your area, and their help is always 100% free. Give them a call and they'll see if they can help you out, and tell them Dr. Ed said hi. $1 billion. So if you're receiving Social Security benefits right now, probably 5, 6, 7% of that comes from the Social Security Trust Fund. It's being paid back. The problem is the trust fund is going to run out in a few years here, and we need to address that. We should have addressed it 10 or 20 years ago, but anyway. I'm going to be 60 in April. I filed for widow's benefits in February. Will I get February and March when I turn 60? So the Social Security considers you to obtain that age. You have to be that age the entire month. So if you're going to get 60 in April, you're probably going to get your benefits. Your first benefits will come May, and you'll get your check in June. Social Security always pays a month late, so they can catch it at the end and take it out of your bank when you shuffle off your mortal coil. Good day. I retired at age 65 because I was on disability and my benefits were terminated. So after a few months, I had to work again because my pension from Social Security wasn't enough to even pay rent. I worked for another year. I can't read the rest of that. So Trump apparently, if you're receiving disability benefits, your benefits automatically switch to regular retirement benefits once you hit your full retirement age. 65 is not the full retirement age. The check stays the same. It's just a bureaucratic thing where they stop taking your money out of your disability funds out of the Social Security Trust Fund and take it out of the retirement trust fund. And so you're no longer limited to how much you can work, and you no longer have continuing disability reviews or anything like that. Trump apparently doesn't have any workable solutions to offer, but has plenty of word salad. Yeah, I was really hoping, because he says, yes, I have a plan for Social Security, and the plan was to go after immigrants. And as immigrants, they don't get if you don't have legal status in this country, you cannot get retirement or disability benefits. That's just the way it is. Can you pay into Social Security, work under a phony Social Security number? Yes, they do all the time. And they pay into Social Security. It's estimated $37 billion a year that they will never get back. So thank you so much for the contribution. We really do appreciate it. There is a bill that was brought up in the congressional hearing last week, I believe, that lifts the cap. Yes, that is the Larson one. Rick Scott looked like he wanted to rush by that being said. I never heard. It's amazing how easy politicians are able to lie, manipulate, and cheat away with it. Yes, that has been around for a long time. That's the same one that Biden had. It's the Larson one, and to raise the cap. And that is one of the best solutions to make sure your benefits are not cut in the future, is to raise the cap so everybody pays it. So your liberal tendencies are showing. You should try not to be political in this site. Yeah, when I started this site about a year ago, and I retired from the Social Security Administration, and my son said, you gotta go on YouTube. A lot of people are having a hard time, and Social Security is understaffed, and so they're not helping. So kicking and screaming, I came, and I just talked about policy type stuff, how to get your disability, how to get retirement, how to make sure you're maximizing your benefits and all that. But people's, are freaking out that, there are going to be cuts here soon. So I had to start adding the political stuff in the sense of to make sure Social Security is here for the future. And because, if I can help you all day long, making sure you get the right benefits today, but if they're not there tomorrow, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So that's why I started adding political stuff. Political stuff, politics is just about resources. One political party said the resources should go here. The other political party said resources should go there. I'm of the political party, whichever it is that particular day, that says resources should go to Social Security so your Social Security doesn't get cut. So there's that. All right. So the my video today was sponsored by Chapter Medicare. If you need help with Medicare supplements, what you always recommend first, reach out to them. They'll give you free help to look for every option you have in your particular area. If you're looking for a Medicare Advantage plan, always check out Medicare supplements first. But there's a premium for that. But so that's why 51% choose Medicare Advantage. And it looks as though Dr. Oz is a big supporter of Medicare Advantage. So there might be a push to make Medicare Advantage for all. I certainly hope they don't do that. But if they do, then yeah, I'm definitely going to be here making videos about it. All right, that'll be it for today. Make sure you subscribe and join my live Q&A. Again, I do it on 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time on YouTube and TikTok and LinkedIn and Facebook and all the rest of it. Y'all take care. Have a beautiful day and take care of each other.